Hello pretty people, welcome to Simply Delish Duo. Today I am baking something that we make year round. I always add this one to my Christmas cookie platter. I am making croissant crescent rolls with a walnut filling. So if you like this recipe and would like to see more, please subscribe to our channel by hitting that red subscribe button below. For my crescent cookies, I am using 4 cups of flour, 3/4 cups of butter at room temperature. I have 2 egg yolks, 1 cup of sour cream. We're going to use a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and I also have a half a teaspoon of lemon zest. I used a large lemon, so I grated the lemon zest. I have half a teaspoon here, and the other half I have in this little one, because I will explain to you in a second. The egg whites I did put aside because we will be brushing them on top of our crescent cookies before I begin to roll them. I also have a plate of icing sugar because we're gonna roll our crescent cookies, and the icing sugar and our filling. You need to have a filling with these crescent cookies. So I have here a cup of chopped walnuts, that teaspoon of lemon zest. I have here 4 tablespoons of sugar and a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. So we will be using the cinnamon, the nuts, and the lemon zest for our filling. I'm gonna push these aside and we're gonna start with our batter here. So in my butter, I am going to add in my flour. Into my sour cream, I'm gonna add in those 2 egg yolks. I'll grab my fork here. Because you know what, we'll stir it a little bit before we stick it in the flour. Throw in your vanilla. Okay. And our lemon zest. Give this a nice stir, and then I'm gonna throw it into our flour mixture here. So just give it a nice little stir here. Then, oops, spill some. And then you throw it into your flour mixture. So we'll give it a good mix. You'll have to get your hands dirty in a bit here. But just give it a good mix because you want to form a ball. Okay, so there. And I'm gonna start mixing it here. Okay, so I mixed it nice, formed it into my ball. Now, you need to refrigerate this. I like to do it overnight, but at least 6 to 8 hours will do. I like to do it overnight, so you don't have to worry about it. You wake up the next morning and then you get to your baking. We'll just put it in here instead of just wrapping it separately. But I will wrap it up in a bit of saran wrap here and stick it in the fridge for 6 to 8 hours, okay? Put that aside. Okay, so in the meantime, that's in the fridge. I am going to grab a bowl here, get my filling ready. Your cup of chopped walnuts. Mix in my sugar with my cinnamon. Give it a good mix. And my lemon zest that I had saved. This could be done the night before also, and just set it aside. Make sure all the nuts and the sugar and the lemon zest and the cinnamon are mixed quite well. So it's been a good 8 hours. I just pulled it out of the fridge. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this in 4 pieces. So it's nice and cold here. So we're gonna do 4 pieces. Just cut one down and one across. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, we're gonna put this back in the bowl, or just set aside if you want. I am gonna roll this out. You wanna roll it out into a circle. So I'm going to start rolling it all out, and then I will show you what we need to do for our croissants. Okay, so formed it into a ball. I'm ready to roll it out. You guys, I put some icing sugar right on my counter. Grab my rolling pin and we're gonna start rolling it out. So I rolled out my circle. So you want a thin dough. You don't want it too thick. So nice and thin. What I'm going to do, I'm gonna beat the 2 eggs that we set aside, 2 egg whites that we set aside. Give them a good beat. Grab my brush and brush some egg all over your circle. Then what we're gonna do, you're gonna grab your nut mixture that we had prepared earlier and sprinkle a generous amount. You want quite a bit of nuts on here, so sprinkle the nuts onto your croissant here. That's why I like to prepare this ahead of time, because then you're nice and organized. Okay. So what we're gonna do now, you want to cut your circle in 8 pieces. So we're gonna cut it in 8 pieces. So you have 8 croissants or crescents. And what we're gonna do is you take your 2 corners and just roll. And you know what? Roll it nice and tight. You want the dough to be rolled nice and tight. So there you go. There's your little crescent croissant. I'll do one more. So just grab it from the corners and roll it nice and tight. You guys, these are so easy to make and they are delicious. So I'll make one more here for you. And I'm gonna bake them in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20-25 minutes. So I'm gonna continue making them. You're probably gonna get, oh my gosh, probably a good 4 dozen at least. I'll let you know once I'm done baking how many came out, but I always get a good amount. So I'm gonna continue doing my crescent croissants and I'll be back before I pop them in the oven. So I filled up one pan. I'm gonna be popping them in the oven for about 20-25 minutes at 350. See you in a bit. So I just pulled them out of the oven. Do they not look delicious? They're like a mini crescent croissant. So when they're cooled off, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them in a plate and sprinkle some icing sugar on them. So I hope you like this recipe. Thank you for watching Simply Delish Duo.